Do page 23 in your packet of pain to get us started. Well, every system is my favorite body.
Sorry. Which page?
23.
Got it.
Did you really not get it?
This will get us a warm-up as we get tonight. So Dan, lots of pain, makes lots of appointments, later on goes in, and hey, his pee is pink. Is that good or bad?
Bad.
Bad. Doctor says, congratulations, you have a stone, a kidney stone. So to answer the questions that follow, I'm going to show you a little animation video showing kidney stones. And it's British, of course. Got a little bit of Brits in their animations, right? I can figure out how to make it. Yeah, or cholecystokinin. Yeah, that was catch. Got to reload it. There we go.
Kidney stones are hard stone-like lumps that can form in your urine.
Oh, was everyone ready?
They are common and occur twice as often in men as women. Let's look inside the body to see how the kidneys work. The kidneys are two bean-shaped organs located near the middle of your back. They work as a filter, removing waste products and excess fluid from the blood, and returning clean blood to the body. The waste products and excess fluid become urine. It travels through two narrow tubes called the ureters to the bladder and leaves the body through the urethra. If there is an imbalance in the waste chemicals in the urine, crystals can form, which may build up into stone-like lumps. These are known as kidney stones. This can happen for a number of reasons, including not drinking enough water, a diet high in protein, or health conditions such as kidney disease. If kidney stones are small, they usually leave the body when you pass urine. However, larger stones can get stuck in the kidneys or pass down the ureter, causing irritation and blocking the flow of urine. This often results in an infection and intense pain that is felt in your back. Kidney stones can sometimes be treated with fluids and painkillers. However, if infection develops or the urine flow is obstructed, further treatment may be needed. Your doctor will advise the treatment best suited to you. In shockwave therapy, shockwaves of energy are used from outside of the body to break up the stones into small pieces that can be passed out of your body in urine. In percutaneous nephrolithotomy, a small cut is made in your back and a thin telescopic tube is passed into your kidney. The stone is then either removed or broken into smaller pieces using a laser. A ureteroscopy is used if a kidney stone is stuck in your ureter. A thin telescopic tube is passed through your urethra and bladder and into the ureter. The stone is then either removed or broken into pieces with a laser. If none of these methods are suitable, the stone may need to be removed using traditional surgery. If you've had a kidney stone, there is a risk of getting another one at a later stage. Your doctor will be able to advise you on medicines and changes to your diet that can help prevent further stones.
All right, so let's get our packet of pain one more time. We're going to walk through the answers, so make sure we got them. So number one, the pathway. They told you in the video, the pathway. What was the pathway? Where do they start? Well, let's start with the kidney. That's a good answer. What organ comes after a kidney? The ureter or ureter. You can say it either way. What comes after your ureter?
Bladder.
The bladder. Urinary bladder, to be really formal. And what's after a bladder? A urethra. Those are the only 4 organs in your urinary system, so that's it. You listed them all. Why is Dan's pee pink?
Blood.
Blood. How does this happen? The rock. Is this normal? No. Not normally. Right. So the rock is inflaming it, tearing it, ripping it, hence you're bleeding. That's a no. What causes a kidney stone? They gave you 3. What were they? Dehydration. So we can say low water.
High protein.
High protein.
Kidney disease.
And something called kidney disease, which is we don't know. So I always get a kidney stone after the flu because of the first one. So I get dehydrated. 2 days later, I'm peeing blood and screaming and cussing. Right? Like clockwork. Make sense? All right. So let's keep going. Number 4. What's number 4 ask us? How can they fix it if it didn't pass on its own? They told you a bunch of them. What were they?
Surgery.
They do the surgery thing, which is probably the last resort. What else do they do? Yeah, the fluid, just flush it out. The shockwave therapy, which is lithotripsy. That big, long, ugly bunch of words, right? And then that little thing that goes up and looks horribly invasive. Make sense? So they can either break it up, they can take it out, or they have to surgically remove the kidney and or ureter and or stone. Make sense? Okay. So that gets us going on the urinary system. Because what I'm going to do now is dive in further. So we're going to go back to the pictures. So here again are my organs of the urinary system. So kidney, ureter, bladder, urethra. So I'm going to zoom in on a kidney, the one they talked about. Right? So here's my kidney, a kidney, which we'll learn in 3 weeks left. So inside a kidney are these things. Notice I circled it in red because it's really important, so it's going to go on the board of power. What are these things? Say
Nephron.
nephron. So we're going to learn what a nephron is. Or nephrons. Got a light here. What is a nephron? It's a microscopic tube. What word is that? I don't know what word that is. So these are little tubes, they're microscopic, you can't see them with your eye, you have to believe they're there, inside your kidney. So those are nephrons. The kidney is a collection of these little tubes. What's their job? What is it? Collect things. What are they collecting?
Waste.
Fluid and waste. So we say their job is to filter waste. Waste from what?
Blood.
From the blood. You saw that in the video. Your kidneys take stuff out of your blood and get rid of it. So they're filtering the blood. So the nephron is where you filter the bloodstream. That's what we call the nephronic interface. So this picture on the far left, one nephron, a single nephron. So this yellow thing is the tube. That's the nephron. Can you tell me what these red things are? Those are blood, or those capillaries. That's the blood going in and out of my nephron to be cleaned or filtered. And this little tube would do the work of cleaning my blood. All right, so that's a nephron. There's a bunch of them. Right? So I'm going to show you an animation that goes through some of that anatomy for you, which is this one here. So here's a kidney. Then we're going to zoom in on those seashell-looking things, and that little guy, that is a nephron. They're microscopic. You couldn't see them like that. Then it's going to keep zooming in that here is the nephron. That's a single unit inside the kidney. So, let's see the next one. So here again are blood vessels because we're filtering the blood. This yellowy stuff, that's the nephron. That's the tube. You'll hear that use a nephron tubule. Right? And if you watch the flashy color there, that's showing the blood going in and out of the nephron to be cleaned of its waste. So the blood goes in on the red and out on the blue. Kind of cool, eh? And then if I take the blood vessels away, I kind of get this picture. So there's a round part at the beginning and this fishbone-looking part at the end. Right? And so this is showing the blood going into my nephron and out of my nephron. This is showing the round part where it begins, and then it'll keep going off to the right of the screen. Okay, on that it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that picture and make it look kind of like this. So what I've done here, or I didn't do it, someone else did, right, is the blood is represented with this orangey arrow. That's the blood. This yellow thing is the nephron. All right? So we're going to figure out what these letters have to do with anything. So you are going to start writing down the letters that appear on this picture because those are important to know. Let's do letter A. Letter A is one of the functions of the nephron. So there are 3 functions of the nephron, 3 jobs, 3 steps. So letter A is the first step. Can someone tell me what you think is going on at letter A? What does that arrow represent? Diffusion of what, from where to where? From blood to nephron. So we call that filtration. So letter A is called the filtration step. You said it's from blood to nephron. Stuff is going into the nephron from the bloodstream. Does everyone see that okay? So I'm leaving the red and going to the yellow. I'm entering the nephron. I'm being filtered. All right, since you're so smart at this, look at B and C. 2 more jobs. So we have B and we have C. Look at B and tell me where stuff's going. From where to where?
From the nephron to the...
From the nephron to the
Capillary.
To the capillary of the blood. So we call that reabsorption. So that function or job is called the reabsorption step. And you told me it's from nephron back to blood. So you just did a U-turn. You went from the blood to the nephron. Now you're turning around and going from nephron out of the yellow into the red, back to the blood. Hit me with C. What do you see happening at C?
It looks like it's skipping the filtration.
Okay, so it's going from where to where? From the blood to nephron. Again, yes indeed. We call that secretion. From blood to nephron. So now you should be really, really confused. I just turned around 3 times. I went from blood to nephron, turned around, nephron to blood, turn around, blood to nephron. All right? But that's what my nephron's going to do is 3 jobs or 3 functions in this order. So you always filter, then you reabsorb, and then you secrete. So if you look at the very bottom, what do we call it after I do A and B and C? You have made urine. So if you, like a math equation, if I add those 3 together, I have urine. So if I do A and B and C, I have performed urine. Here we are. So every nephron in your kidney is going to do these 3 steps to do its job, which is to filter the waste. Make sense? Okay, so we're going to show you an animation of these 3 steps. Then we'll do a little activity. So again, we have those 3. So let me show you. So on this animation, again, here's this kind of swan-looking thing. That's the nephron. So the blood's on the left, the nephron's on the right, and then the blood continues around. So I'm going to click in the middle. I'm going to do letter A. So what should I be doing if I click here? Click here. There it is. That's filtration. How do I know that's filtration? So it says it.
It's one of the first.
First one.
It's entering.
And the fluid's going from where to where? Where are these arrows?
Capillary.
Yes, leaving the bloodstream, leaving the capillary, and entering the yellow, entering the nephron. So I'm filtering. Okay? Look at those arrows down there. Stuff is leaving the nephron, leaving the yellow, and going back to the red. So we call that reabsorption. I'm bringing it back into the body. So I'm reabsorbing. Look at those arrows. They're going from the blood back into the nephron. So we call that secretion. So I'm going to do all three of those steps in every nephron. Make sense? Okay. So now I got to figure out why the kidney and the nephrons do this. Okay, there is a reason. So I'm going to show you a data table. So find the next page in your packet. You're going to do some data analysis to figure out how your kidney works. So find this page 24, I think it is. Okay, so let me walk you through what this data table is trying to show you. So on the left, these are things that might be in your blood. So we have glucose. Anyone know what albumin is? It's a protein. RBCs, WBCs. Say cells. That was the last term, right? Sodium, potassium. Electrolytes or salts. Urea and uric acid. Those are waste products from protein metabolism. Water, you hopefully remember, right? So here are some things that might be in my blood. So these are going to go to my nephron. The nephron's going to do the three jobs on it. Filtration, reabsorption, secretion. Looking at the three columns, you can figure out what happens. So I have column 1 with stuff in the blood. So let's get out that picture. I just showed you the static picture. Here. So the first column with numbers, column 1. Where on this picture would that be? The one that says concentration in the blood. Where would that be?
Before A.
Before A. That's where it is, right here. It's in the bloodstream. So the first column with numbers is before you get to A. That make sense? Look at the second column with numbers. It says concentration in the filtrate. Can you tell me where that is on this picture?
B.
After A.
After A. Because I filter, therefore this is the filtrate. So blood is the red, filtrate is the yellow after A. Does that make sense? All right. So I have a concentration in blood, concentration in filtrate. Look at the last column with numbers. Concentration in the where? Urine. Where's urine? In the toilet bowl, right? After the C. So urine is after it leaves the nephron. So I have before A, blood, after A, filtrate, after B and C, urine. Right? So from those values, you can figure out what thing is doing what step. That's your job. You're going to do 3 minutes with your team, go through each chemical and figure out what it happens to it, because if you look at question 1, 2, and 3, question 1 asks, what substances are able to enter the nephron of the kidney? That would be filtration. I can enter the nephron. Question 2 asks, what things are reabsorbed? That's B. And 3 asks, what things are secreted, which is C. So from the data table, try to figure out what happens in A, which ones do B, and which ones do C. I'm going to give you 3 minutes with your team, and we'll answer it. Do some data analysis.